Are we on? There's always a first for everything, huh? And this is it for me. So thank you, Sue, and thank you, band. Don't we have the greatest musicians ever? Love them. So it's so good to be here. Isn't it good to be here? Yes. I'm so excited to be standing here and facing this direction. Truly, it's my privilege to talk in front of you, in front of Unity of Springfield, as I am so in love with this church. You know, for 10 years, I've sat in that seat. You've seen me. Where that beautiful woman, Sue, is sitting now, watching the most divine woman speak words of wisdom and spirit, guiding my life, and I'm sure guiding yours too. She told me she was sitting in that seat today, so here I am. Welcome to the first Sunday of Advent. The first Sunday of Advent is represented by hope. The first flame on our journey towards Christmas, toward the awakening of the Christ light within all of us. Advent is a time of spiritual preparation. It reminds us that every birth of divine light begins in the stillness of hope. Before faith becomes certainty, before love becomes action, before joy bursts forth, there is hope. Today, we're talking about something we all need, something that lives quietly at the center of every prayer, every dream, every new beginning, the spiritual power of hope. Thank you. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian-German psychiatrist and a Holocaust survivor. Born in 1905, he was thrust into one of the most devastating times in world history at the age of 37, Nazi Germany. It was 1942, and he and his wife Tilly had a ticket to freedom, a way, the only way to get out of this hellhole. He had a visa. He could leave immediately and escape to America. But his elderly parents couldn't come with him, so he stayed. Within months, the Nazis came for them all. Auschwitz, then Dachau. He was stripped of everything he owned, even his name. He was given a number, 119104. That was what they tried to reduce him to. He had even lost his life work, a manuscript that he had sewn into his jacket, but later found by the Nazis. The Nazis took everything that he owned, or at least they thought they had. But Viktor Frankl knew something about the human mind that would keep him alive. Hope. This hope gave birth to a revolution in human psychology. You see, Viktor noticed a pattern. In the camps, men didn't just die from starvation and disease. They died from giving up. The moment a prisoner lost his reason to survive, his why, his body would collapse within days. But the men who held on to something, a wife to find, a child to see again, a book to write, a debt to repay, a promise to keep, they endured unthinkable suffering. The difference wasn't physical strength. It was meaning. It was hope. In 1945, 85 pounds, he was liberated. In 9 days, he reproduced that manuscript, which then became the book, Man's Search for Meaning. But now it contains something the original didn't have. Proof. Proof that his theory was true. He called it logotherapy, therapy through meaning. You see, humans can survive almost anything if they have a reason why, if they have hope. Therapists read it and wept. Prisoners read it and it sparked hope. People facing divorce, disease, bankruptcy, depression read it and found a light. The impact was seismic. Today, the Library of Congress named it one of the 10 most influential books in America. Hope is one of the most beautiful movements of the soul. It's that whisper that says, keep going. The story isn't over yet. Hope is the light that shines from the heart when the mind can't yet see the way. In Unity, we understand that hope is more than positive thinking or wishful emotion. Hope is a spiritual power, a divine energy that lifts our awareness from what is seen to what is possible in God. Many might ask, so what is hope really? The world often describes hope as fragile, a kind of I hope so uncertainty. It's the movement of divine, but hope is strength. It's the movement of divine energy that begins the creative process of faith. The great Unity teacher Eric Butterworth once wrote, "Hope is not looking for something outside yourself to save you. It's an inner stirring of divine possibility." Hope is the seed stage of faith. When we say, I hope things will get better, what we're really saying is, I still believe there's divine potential here. A single thought opens the door for the Christ mind within us. Hope doesn't deny the reality of pain or difficulty. It simply refuses to be defined by it. In Unity's 12 powers, faith is the power of spiritual knowing. The unshakable conviction that God is. Good is unfolding. Hope is like the first movement toward that knowing, a quiet awakening of faith within the human heart. If faith is a steady flame, hope is the spark that lights it. If faith says, I know, hope gently whispers, maybe. But that maybe, when held in divine consciousness, grows into yes, absolutely. I may be doing this a lot today here. Hope works hand in hand with imagination in the 12 powers, the ability to see beyond appearances. Together, hope and imagination lift us from the valley of limitation into the mountaintop vision of truth. Hope is born in darkness. Of course, hope is easy when life is going well, right? But what about when the diagnosis is grim? The job is lost, the relationship ends, the future looks bleak. That's when hope becomes holy. Because hope is born in darkness, not in the sunlight of certainty, but in the night of not knowing. In 1994, I was a teacher and administrator in Willow Springs, Missouri. One morning in a meeting of educators and counselors, my friend and school counselor, Jerry, came into the meeting late. He was looking exhausted, disheveled. After the meeting, I came up to Jerry and I asked him if he was okay. Jerry told me the story of how his wife and him had been up all night with his mother-in-law, Gladys, and his father-in-law. Gladys had just finished a long 2-day evaluation at Barnes Hospital in St. Louis. She was told to get her things in order. She had at best 6 weeks to live. She had advanced cancer of the liver. Given my own experiences with my own healing, I asked Jerry if she might like to talk with me. And later that day, Jerry called me and said, yes, Gladys would like to meet with you tonight. My wife and I, along with my father-in-law, will join you. That evening after school, I sat down with the four of them. I explained my own journey of healing. I told her she had nothing to lose. The doctors offered her no hope, no treatment, no possibility of remission, no hope for cure. But I told her what God offers is always the possibility. After school each day, I'd sit with Gladys for about an hour. We prayed, we meditated. We meditated on healing. We stated affirmations and visualizations on seeing her body in light and love and health. Along with her and her husband eating a pure macrobiotic vegetarian diet. As I was solely the messenger, Gladys did the work. God did the healing. 2 weeks after her diagnosis, Gladys went back in for a follow-up at her doctor. The doctor couldn't believe it. Her cancer was gone. He told her to keep doing whatever she was doing because whatever it was, it worked. I asked her to set up an appointment with my friend, Dr. Norman Sheely, who many of you may know, used to come here, who then later wrote about Gladys in one of his books on healing, miracle healing. Nothing could have happened without hope. It was the hope that only God can provide, and that same hope lives in each and every one of you. All you have to do is empower it. Charles Fillmore stated that the most important words in the world are Christ in you, the hope of glory. Even when our eyes see only shadow, the light of the Christ within us never goes out. So hope is not the denial of darkness, it's the decision to keep lighting candles in the dark. How do we cultivate this spiritual power of hope in our daily life? Through 5 disciplines, my friend. Through stillness. When we still the mind, we remember that God is. In that silence, we reconnect with the presence that never leaves us. Hope begins to rise naturally because hope is the presence, remembering itself through us, through imagination. Begin to see the good, not as fantasy, but as the divine potential waiting to be born. Hope is the bridge from imagination to manifestation. Through compassion and service. When we hold hope for others, when we say, I know good is possible for you, we multiply hope in the collective field of consciousness. Hope shared is hope strengthened. Through affirmation, words shape consciousness. Let me repeat that. Words shape consciousness. If you get nothing else from this talk, try to remember these three words. Words shape consciousness. Be still and listen. Ask God, the Creator, those words specifically for you. You will be given an answer. Remember those words. Write them down. Memorize them. Say them. But say them with meaning. These words you are given are anointed with divine power. A power that can break through despair, depression, sickness, and any problems you're facing. It is the key to unlocking the door of divine potential. It is the hope that begins the knowing of faith. These words are your affirmations. When we affirm truth, we open our awareness to divine possibility. Let's speak this affirmation together. The light of divine hope shines in me now. Hope doesn't come from trying harder. It flows from divine connection. In Hebrews 11, we read, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Notice that hope gives faith its direction. Hope imagines the good, faith makes it real. Without hope, faith would have no shape to fill. And in Romans 15, Paul writes, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. When we align with Spirit, hope arises naturally, like the dawn. I guess it's not coming up there. I don't want it to start, but yeah. On October 1st, 2025, anthropologist and primatologist Jane Goodall passed away after 91 years. It'll be 2 months tomorrow. In 2002, she had been awarded a United Nations Messenger of Peace. She had written 32 books, and she appeared in over 40 films. She promoted conservation and was an honorary member of the World Future Council. Preceding her death, she recorded her last words to be shown only after her death. And this is an excerpt of what she said. Lisa?
In the place where I am now, I look back over my life. I look back at the world I've left behind. What message do I want to leave? I want to make sure that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters, and you are here for a reason. And I just hope that that reason will become apparent as you live through your life. I want you to know that whether or not you find that role that you're supposed to play, your life does matter, and that every single day you live, you make a difference in the world. And you get to choose the difference that you make. I want you to understand that we are part of the natural world. And even today, where the planet is dark, there still is hope. Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and do nothing. And if you want to save what is still beautiful in this world, if you want to save the planet for the future generations, your grandchildren, their grandchildren, then think about the actions you take each day, because multiplied 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000 times, even small actions will make for great change. I just hope that you understand that this life on planet Earth isn't the end. I believe, and now I know, that there is life beyond death, that consciousness survives. I can't tell you from where I am secrets that are not mine to share. I can't tell you what you will find when you leave planet Earth. But I want you to know that your life on planet Earth will make some difference in the kind of life that you find after you die.
My friends, hope is not about waiting for something better to happen. Hope is the something better that's already happening in consciousness. It's the quiet but unstoppable energy that calls us forward in greater life. When we awaken the spiritual power of hope, we become instruments of renewal in our world. We remind others and ourselves that no circumstance is greater than the presence of God. So today, let's go forth carrying that hope, not fragile and uncertain, but radiant and sure. Let's close with this affirmation together. With God, all things are possible. Beloveds, may you go forward this week as a living light of hope, trusting in the unseen good, expecting divine order, and radiating peace wherever you are. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. Will our ushers come forward, please? This is our time in our service that we choose to show our infinite gratitude for our blessings. Please join me in the offertory blessing.